daylight no longer brings safety. A godlike entity, an ancient horror made of eyes, tentacles, and madness, descends from the breach. Humanity has no answer, but Adrian might. Chapter 9. The sun isn't safe. The morning air was cool and strangely pleasant. For once, the group moved without urgency, walking under the cover of daylight with full bellies and some semblance of hope. After a week of hiding in crumbling shelters and basements, Rachel had proposed they search for something more permanent, a place they could reinforce, grow food, and maybe even breathe easy again. Charlie had found a set of maps in an abandoned ranger station the night before, and they were following an old trail that led toward what used to be a forest retreat camp nestled in the hills outside the city. The road was cracked, half swallowed by weeds and fallen trees, but it felt safe. For now. Adrian walked near the back, hood up, silent as usual. Though the group had warmed up to him, a quiet unease still lingered. He didn't blame them. Even now, with the animal blood keeping him level, he could feel the hunger prowling beneath the surface. But he was learning to master it. The blood didn't control him anymore, at least not completely. "I still think this is a waste of time," Charlie muttered, kicking a rock down the road. "We should keep moving. Stay mobile." "You want to spend another night sleeping in a busted gas station?" Ivy snapped. Charlie shrugged. "We've survived worse." Rachel raised a hand to quiet them. "Keep your eyes up. Let's get there first, then argue about it." Hank grumbled, but fell in line. The trail opened up to a ridgeline that overlooked the forest below. A scattering of half-burned cabins dotted the trees in the distance, just visible between the dense branches. Ivy let out a breath. That might actually work. Adrian stopped, his body going still. Something wasn't right. Rachel noticed it too. "What is it?" "Don't move," Adrian said low, his voice a growl. The birds had gone silent. There was a pressure in the air, like the air itself had thickened. A deep, pulsing vibration rolled through the ground beneath their feet, as if something impossibly large had stirred in the earth below. And then they heard it. A sound like 1,000 bones grinding in unison. The tree line ahead shivered, and then split. It moved like a shadow, but had shape. Towering at least 12 feet tall, its long, spindly limbs twisted in angles that defied anatomy. Flesh like burnt tree bark, mottled with black veins and ridges that pulsed with sickly green light. Its head, if it could be called that, was a bulbous mass of eyes and mouths, all blinking and gnashing in constant twitching motion. Tentacle-like appendages dragged behind it, writhing and clawing at the air, searching. It didn't walk. It slid across the forest floor, across the road, across everything, as if gravity had no authority over it. Its many mouths let out whispering, wet sounds, like dozens of voices speaking beneath the threshold of understanding. "Hell no," Charlie shouted, already backing away. "Run," Adrian snarled. "Now." They scattered. Trees whipped by as they sprinted down the hill toward the cabins, but the thing was faster, slithering, flowing like liquid nightmare through the forest, tearing trees apart as it moved. Wherever it passed, the earth steamed, and the plants withered to ash. Adrian hung back, urging the others forward. He turned once, locking eyes, or something, with the creature, and felt a psychic wave of nausea and dread crash over him. His monstrous blood boiled in fear. This wasn't like the undead or even the mutated animals. This was something wrong, something ancient. The group reached the cabins just as the creature burst from the tree line behind them, smashing into a fallen lodge. Adrian turned, teeth bared, ready to fight if he had to, but the moment the creature touched sunlight fully, it shrieked. A horrible, dry, scraping sound. Recoiled, its skin blistering in the daylight, and then vanished in a blur of oily movement back into the trees. Silence fell again, thick and unnatural. Everyone was gasping for air, watching the tree line like it might open again at any moment. "What the hell was that?" Ivy asked, voice shaking. Adrian didn't answer immediately. He stared into the forest, eyes narrowed. Something old. Something that shouldn't be here. Rachel swallowed hard. "You've seen things like that before?" Adrian nodded slowly. "Not exactly, but I've felt them. The world's changing. That thing wasn't part of the outbreak. It was something else, something deeper." They all stood there for a long time, staring at the line where the trees had split, wondering if the sun would really keep them safe. Night fell like a hammer. Thick clouds rolled in over the treetops, swallowing the moon and stars in one slow gulp. The air turned electric, like the moment before a lightning strike, and the trees began to whisper again. Adrian sat by the edge of the cabin camp, hood pulled low. The others had started settling in. Rachel was organizing supplies. Ivy was sharpening scavenged knives, and Charlie, despite his grumbling, had gone out to reinforce their makeshift barricades. Hank was on watch, but Adrian felt it in his blood. Something was coming. Something old. "Do you hear that?" Hank muttered, eyes scanning the trees. "It's like the ground's humming." Then the sky split open. A sound like the tearing of flesh echoed across the hills. The treetops snapped back as if recoiling from something unspeakable. In the distance, just beyond their camp, reality buckled. The air twisted. The trees warped, and from the wound in the world it returned. The creature had evolved. Its tentacles coiled in on themselves, folding and twisting until, with sickening crunches, a vaguely human shape stood among the writhing void. But it wasn't human. Not really. It stood nearly 20 feet tall. Its arms hung too long, ending in tendril-like fingers that writhed and curled like snakes. Its skin was a shifting patchwork of shadow and flesh, and where a face should have been, there was only a mouth murmuring in forgotten tongues, and eyes. Countless eyes. They blinked, turned, and locked onto the camp. Rachel's voice broke the silence. Inside, the forest burst to life. From the tree line came skittering horrors, spider-like creatures, blind yet fast, with too many legs and mouths that opened the wrong way. They shrieked as they charged. Adrian moved without hesitation. "Rachel, Ivy, Charlie, keep them back," he shouted. "I've got the big one." Charlie raised a shotgun. "Are you out of your mind? That thing's not even real." "Maybe," Adrian said, his eyes glowing red beneath his hood. "But it can bleed. I can smell it." As Ivy and Rachel cut down the swarm and Charlie fired shot after shot after shot, Adrian stepped into the clearing. The towering thing turned, its 1,000 eyes focusing on him. "I know what you are," Adrian growled. "You don't belong here," it answered, not with words, but with thoughts. Images flooded Adrian's mind, collapsing cities beneath dark skies, symbols that defied meaning, and stars that should not exist. He fell to his knees, nose bleeding from the pressure. Then his hunger answered. His eyes rolled back, fangs elongated, and with a scream that echoed across the hills, Adrian changed. The human guise peeled away. Clawed hands emerged, muscles surged, and veins lit up like molten gold under pale skin. His back arched as bone twisted into a new form, taller, leaner, monstrous. Eyes like a predator's locked onto the creature. The others stared in shock as the man they'd trusted became something else, something other. The creature stepped forward, unafraid. Its tendrils reached, but Adrian was faster. With a blur of motion, he struck, slicing through one of the coiled limbs. Black ichor sprayed the trees, sizzling on contact. The thing screamed, not with fear, but rage. Behind them, Ivy drove a machete through a spider creature's skull. "Adrian," she shouted. "Finish it." But Adrian didn't respond. He was fully in it now. Fangs bared, moving with monstrous precision as he ducked the creature's attacks and slashed at its limbs, matching horror with horror. The others held the line, barely surviving the wave of underlings, until finally, the big creature began to falter. It stumbled, twitching, the sky around it rippling. It was dying, or maybe retreating. With one final blow, Adrian leapt into the air and drove both clawed hands into the thing's warped chest. The creature shrieked, a sound that cracked glass and dropped everyone to their knees. Then, silence. Its body unraveled, eyes blinking out one by one, tendrils flailing weakly as it collapsed into itself, folding back into the tear in the sky like smoke through a keyhole. The wound sealed behind it with a low, thunderous pop. Adrian stood in the clearing, chest heaving, his twisted form slowly shifting back. Bones snapped and realigned as his body returned to something almost human. Rachel stepped forward, her voice barely above a whisper. What are you?" Adrian pulled his hood over his face again. Something caught between two worlds. No one responded. They just stared, wary, exhausted, but alive. Charlie finally spoke, breaking the silence. "Whatever you are, thanks for saving us." Adrian gave a slight nod but said nothing. In the back of his mind, the whispering hadn't stopped. That thing hadn't come alone. This was only the beginning. His true form unleashed, Adrian becomes the wall between the nightmare and his friends. Don't blink. Don't breathe. Like and subscribe for more terror at Survival Horror Ambience. The end is only the beginning.